Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share about Donald Trump's coup clown. So first, I have news about America's defendant, oh my God, I can say his name, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity. Anyway, last week, Giuliani was supposed to appear in court. He was a no-show. Giuliani had been issued a subpoena in this case back in April, but he apparently just blew it off. So this is a case that involves the 8 Capitol police officers suing Donald Trump. This is a civil suit. Again, it was filed by Capitol police officers who blamed Donald Trump rightfully for inciting the violence against them at the Capitol on January 6th. And so Rudy Giuliani was being called to provide testimony about Trump's actions leading up to and on that day. Well, Giuliani is using his typical tactics. He's avoiding, he's delaying. So the officers have now asked the court to intervene. They're asking the court to compel Giuliani to appear. So we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, we have more details about his finances. So as you all know, Giuliani declared bankruptcy after he was hit with a $148 million judgment that was in the defamation case brought against him by Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the Georgia election workers. So Giuliani whined to the court, you might recall, and he claimed that he just can't possibly pay his debts because he's just destitute. He's just so poor. Help me, I'm poor. He just couldn't do it. And, as with everything that comes out of his vile mouth, he was lying. So according to financial records that he's finally now turned over to the bankruptcy court, Giuliani was, during this time, while he's complaining about this, while he's saying, I'm going to be out in the street, he spent almost $45,000 a month. So since April, from April to August, $45,000 is more than what a lot of Americans earn in an entire year. And this jackass is out burning through that amount of money on a monthly basis. But please do tell me again how he's a man of the people, how he's so in touch with average Joes, right? He has no clue. He has no clue how average Americans live, what they need. And remember, like I said, during this period of time, while he's blowing $45,000 a month, he was crying to the court. He was saying, I can't sell my Florida condo. I'll end up homeless. So despicable. But you know what's even more despicable? Having a neo-Nazi on your show, because he did that too. Yeah, he actually did this. So on August 23rd, just about a week ago, Giuliani had 21-year-old Rachel Siegel on his show. So this is her that you're seeing in this photo right here. She's giving a Nazi salute for people listening on the podcast, by the way. On Giuliani's show, she described herself as a, quote, lifelong hardcore conservative. Days before this, she was at the Democratic National Convention. She was holding a sign that contained a swastika, and it said, quote, fuck N-words, go the fuck back to the shithole you're from, Jews, fuck off, F-words, eat shit, get AIDS and die. Now that last F-word was the homophobic slur. She obviously also didn't write N-word. She actually used the heinous, hateful word. So clearly at 21, little Rachel here is already damaged goods and has some serious issues. So she was also seen the same week, she's seen outside the Israeli consulate. She was holding a sign there promoting the racist Great Replacement theory. So that sign included the name of a Telegram channel. And when you followed that link, it was to a white supremacist Telegram channel. Now, it would be easy for Giuliani to say, oh, I had no idea that I was hosting a Nazi, right? Yeah, well, except for this.
Go hang out with the Nazis, nurse boy. Go get, she's a Nazi. Go get her. Go get her. Follow her. That's just your type right there. Go get her. Did you not see her videos today, nurse boy? Oh, you're going to be in so much trouble. This is bad. This is a bad look. I'm going to have the shot. Exchanging contact info with the Nazi. This is great. This is a great look. This guy's here today with Mike Lindell, but he previously worked for Rudy Giuliani. Maybe Rudy can afford to pay him anymore. That's a bad look. Very bad. Did you see her videos from today?
Who is that?
You should have found out before you exchange info with her. That's so bad. She is viral like crazy today here. She's a literal Nazi, bro.
So that video that you just watched or heard was taken and narrated by someone who I adore. She goes by the Twitter handle of Anarchy Princess, and you guys will probably remember her. She was the one who was at Peter Navarro's trial. She was the woman who was standing behind him while he was speaking with the press, and she was holding a sign that said, "Trump lost, and you know it." And as you heard in this video, she was trying to warn Giuliani's employee that you're talking to a white supremacist, you're talking to a Nazi. So he obviously either didn't listen or he didn't care, because he exchanged numbers with her. And then several days later, Siegel is on Giuliani's show, and she completely changed her story. So on Giuliani's show, she claimed that, oh, I just think that, you know, Hamas and what they've done to the Jewish people is abhorrent. That was the word she used. Yeah, after saying, you know, Jews fuck off. Yeah, you think she's full of shit? You think maybe she was pandering to Giuliani's ignorant audience? And then she parroted a bunch of neo-Nazi Patriot Front talking points. So the author of an article that I read was able to go and trace her talking points back to Patriot Front, which is a major neo-Nazi group that marches around. They go around their little khaki pants with their faces covered because, you know, God forbid we get to see who these racists are. They don't want to actually be outed in society because they know that they're wrong. They know that they're gross and disgusting excuses for human beings. So yeah, they cover their little cowardly faces. But anyway, she was parroting their talking points about how societies aren't colonized. They're quote unquote conquered. And so they deserve to be conquered if they're that weak. Okay, yeah. And Giuliani, he went right along with all of this BS. They are disgusting. They're vile. They really are. Next up is news about the Arizona fake electors case and the indictments over there. Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, he is arguing to the court that his indictment should be tossed because he says he was just responding to text messages as Trump's chief of staff. That's all. Wasn't doing anything other than that, just texted people back. I mean, that's kind of like a murderer saying, well, I was just holding a gun, right? I mean, what did you do with the gun, Mr. Murderer, right? I mean, what did you say in those text messages, Mark Meadows? That's kind of a clue, right? When you're helping to push a stolen election fairy tale, that kind of goes beyond simply responding to text messages. So his argument is unlikely to land, but his co-defendants are using a different argument, and it actually has the judge considering a dismissal of the case. So this is concerning. They're in court this week. They've been in court for a few days, and they're claiming that Arizona's anti-SLAPP law applies to this case because their indictment was based, they say, on politics, on a political agenda. So for anyone who doesn't know, anti-SLAPP laws, like the one in Arizona and other states have it, California has one, it protects against the filing of frivolous lawsuits. So if someone is clearly just trying to silence you, then you can file a SLAPP lawsuit against them, or you can use anti-SLAPP laws to get rid of the lawsuit because they clearly are just trying to shut you up. Well, in Arizona in 2022, they added language to their anti SLAPP law, which is very different from other states, and it prevents politically motivated prosecutions. Now, are they being politically prosecuted? No, they actually violated the law. They actually went behind people's backs. They tried to, subvert democracy and help Trump overturn a legitimate, fair, and free election. So we'll see how this shakes out. But while the judge is considering that argument, he did schedule a trial date. So he scheduled it for January of 2026. We will see if that holds. I'll keep you posted. Last but not least is news about Mr. Lumpy Pillow Man. Mike Lindell has finally relinquished his financial documents in the lawsuit filed by computer expert Robert Zeidman. So I've mentioned this before. As you guys know, Zeidman is suing Mike Lindell because Mike Lindell held a $5 million contest called Prove Mike Wrong. And Zeidman did. He proved Mike wrong, and he proved that Lindell had absolutely no evidence of fraud in the 2020 election. And Zeidman, by the way, I'll remind everyone again, he is a two-time Trump voter. As I've mentioned before, though, Lindell has refused to pay him, and so the matter has traveled through various courts and arbitration. Mr. Pellowman keeps losing, but he has refused to pay up, and he's now refused to turn over financial information. So the judge recently put him on notice. I've mentioned that. He had to appear in court, the judge said, if he didn't hand everything over by August 23rd. Well, Zeidman's attorney just notified the court. They have received everything from Lindell. We haven't been able to see it yet. It's not showing on the court docket, so I will definitely let you know how that shakes out and what happens. But there you go. That is Trump's coup clowns for the week. I will let you know when I have more updates on them. But yeah, not my monkey, not my circus. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.